Let's get then into our team selection scores that you said right at the top. It feels like we're back to the normal podcast routine on a Friday, press conference before it, the podcast in the afternoon. And now we welcome back the team selections. And Klopp was asked about team news ahead of the game. And of course, Jordan Henderson and Trent Alexander-Arnold of maybe that first choice 11 don't look like they'll make this one. Yeah, well, Henderson definitely won't. He doesn't restart training with the team until Monday, I think. Maybe even Sunday if they've got a training session. Alexander-Arnold's hit and miss. I mean, I was told, was it the week before last, that he was kind of working to get fit for this game tomorrow. Wasn't actually too positive in his injury update, was he? So I think they might err on the side of caution with him and Nico Williams comes in. Other than that, I'd still expect it to be fairly standard back forward. Alan Gomez on Dyke, who's fine from nasty off to the head, and Andy Robertson on the left. Yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts? Nico Williams then slotting into that right back role with the rest of the back five, as it were, in place?
I think so. I mean, bearing in mind Trent had a minute of season friendly action yet, I think it'd just be unthinkable that Klopp would throw him straight in at Wembley against a side like Arsenal. And Nico's done really, really well. Brian Giggs earlier this week, he got his first senior international Welsh call-up this week, and Ryan Giggs was saying how impressed he's been with him and how pleased he is, because there was a suggestion he could possibly defect to play for England, but how pleased he was that Nico seems to have hung his hat on the Welsh Dragons hook. And I look forward to seeing him play, because he likes to get a put, he can go a tackle in, and he looks really promising. A topic for another pod maybe, Theo, but does it show that Liverpool maybe are a touch like still in defence? If you thought maybe you could put Gomez to right back, T-Body still undergoing his own rehab during pre-season, they don't really have any other option than the back four we've laid out, do they?
Not massively, but they've got a lot of talented youngsters that Jurgen Klopp has put faith in, and more often than not, ones that he keeps in the squad deserve being kept in the squad. That's why Nico Williams is there. He'll be starting tomorrow, you'd imagine, and why say Selector barely got a sniff last year, and he'll be moving on. Liverpool look at them in training, they see the ability, the decisions of the future on who's got the talent to be part of this first team squad. And it's not just sentimentality to have a couple of kids involved. It's because they believe they can make a real impact. And Nico Williams has, ever since he's had his first opportunities, he's really impressed everyone whenever he's played. He's had a couple of iffy moments, but you'd expect that for a young player. We've seen the exact same with Trent a couple of years ago. Tomorrow, if he starts, will be a huge test for him, because you think, well, Arsenal probably have Aubameyang on the left wing. You're not going to face against a more formidable, where are you, as a young fullback? But he's going to be full of confidence, having his first international call-up. Now he's got a chance to play at Wembley. He's won a few trophies already in his young Liverpool career, but this will be a first chance for him to really make impact and actually play full 90 minutes. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do. If you go through the rest of the defence, I'd imagine we'll see Tsimikas make his debut, just to give him his debut, but that won't be to start. There's no need to really rotate up when it is at this time as being the curtain raiser. It is another pre-season friendly to get the energy in the legs, so it'll be a second half substitute. And the centre-back options, Liverpool, we've seen the youngsters in pre-season. Phillips has done well, so it'll be a chance for Jurgen if he wants to bring one of them on or have them on the bench, to have them as part of the squad to see if they really can be a member of this team for the season ahead, or if he will need to dive into the transfer market for another centre-back before early October. Yeah, certainly. Of course, Jurgen Klopp was asked about Virgil van Dijk. We should mention, said he doesn't look good, but there's not anything to do with the injury. That's obviously the cut he took to the face. And also just wanted to get your then maybe on the mid-three for Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool are really in a position to kind of rest and rotate and throw out appearances for players who aren't play a significant part of the season. So I think it'll be fairly straightforward. I think it'll be Wijnaldum. I think Fabinho, and obviously without Jordan Henderson and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, then you're looking at NABY KEITA. Fair enough. Dan, do you agree with that, or are you looking maybe at James Milner, that steady Eddie experienced player who could come into that midfield three?
It's interesting because, that three that start, I think I'm right in terms the three that started against Salzburg in midweek. and they didn't entirely cover themselves in glory. Now, obviously, it's a different game. It's a different, I think I'm right in saying Liverpool actually trained on the morning before the match, didn't they? Get Salzburg, and obviously them kind of put the paces. So I think that to some degree can account for a little bit of the chasing that they got in the first half. It's a 50-50 one, really. I think it would maybe be Fabinho or I would see KEITA certainly given his head, because I think he potentially can provide that link between the midfield and the attack and has the opportunity to kind of build on his progress in recent times. I probably would keep it as it is with Fabinho and Wijnaldum. But, James Milner, I think, will have a huge part to play for Liverpool this season and may well have a big role to play tomorrow. Convention said it many times, but there's very few better first subs you can have in a game than Milner. No matter what the state of the game is, he will always be able to read the situation and kind of tailor his performance what the team requires.
Yes, and well, Theo, let you have your say on the midfield and also what forward three you go with. I think there's probably no prizes for guessing how Jurgen Klopp's going to line up that forward three.
With the midfield, I think it's pretty much what the two have said. I would potentially like to see Curtis Jones given a game, but at the same time, the way you're choosing your midfield is going to be a statement about the rest of the season, I feel. So say when Alden didn't start, you'd imagine that means he might be moving on for the window. James Milner, he's a good one to have off the bench just because if it goes to penalties, that's a 1-0 head start, isn't it, in a shootout? You just know he's going to score. NABY KEITA, he needs to grab every opportunity he gets. So impressive following the restart. I see no reason to change things up by dropping him out when he's got a bit of momentum and he's making the difference. So those are the obvious three. And then the front three. You could give Brewster a game, but over the course of this, if he's at Liverpool or not, it is going to be the traditional three up front, and he's going to have to be coming in as a substitute in games if he's still on the books. So, Salah, Firmino, Mane.
Anybody argue with that, or anybody want to give Brewster a go from the start?
No arguments.
No. It's a trophy. It's there to be won. They haven't really clicked yet, the front three, have they? But it's only a matter of time. And I think they actually probably need the minutes together.
Right, and in terms of score predictions, I'll kick things off 2-0 Liverpool, I think.
That's very optimistic for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Traitorous gunner.
Well, I have to be a realist.
2-1 Liverpool.
3-1.
2 Liverpool.
We'll have to see how that does play out. We'll be back on Monday, of course, with the next edition of the Blood Red podcast. Don't forget, post-game will be with you on the Blood Red podcast feed on Saturday evening after the game at Wembley. We will be back on Monday, as I say. If you can give us a rating or review wherever it is you listen to the podcast, or go and find our YouTube channel on the Blood Red YouTube page. Subscribe and tell mates about it too. That'd be more than appreciated. But from myself, Guy Clark, Dan Kay, Theo Squires, and Paul Gorse, thanks for your time and your company. It's bye for now.